Hello. All right. Hello, YouTube. Hello, my friends that are following for the Composer Study Companion that should be coming out in a couple of months, and some of the music things that I'm trying to do on YouTube and Facebook. I have an activity that I want to share with you today, and this is something that we did in co-op this morning. Our Charlotte Mason co-op meets once a month, and I do composer and folk songs and hymns with the kids. And today's activity is by Tchaikovsky. Now, Tchaikovsky is not in the Thomas Tapper's great composer series. So if you look at the Composer Study Companion website, there's 12 books that are really great for kids' biographies. They're public domain, and I've reprinted them on Amazon so that you can actually cut out pictures and paste them in the biography. It's really a neat concept. I loved it when I discovered it, and I've got more about that on the website. But Tchaikovsky is not one of the composers, which I was really bummed about because he is just such a wonderful composer to study. And we have him for our term 2, which is starting next week. We'll be in term 2 of our school year. The first piece that I am teaching the students is from Swan Lake, and we'll also learn a little bit about the story of Swan Lake throughout the next couple of weeks. Great story if you have a chance to talk to the kids about just the story behind the music. It is a ballet. We're going to just talk about the music today, though. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the different movements of the ballet and the pieces that are used in Swan Lake. But the waltz, what I do to introduce the students is talk about how we're going to learn the form of the piece. And there are some terminology, some vocabulary that I want the kids to have. And the activity that we did this morning was that the students analyzed the form. So I have some visuals that I'm going to show you. And what I did with the kids this morning is in their co-op packets, they wrote down as we were listening to see what section we were on. No, we're talking about Tchaikovsky, about what we did this morning. So let me just go through the cards that I made. Now you can make these cards at home. I might see if I can make them fancy and have them able to be downloaded. But what I did was when I was listening and analyzing before co-op, I wanted to see what the sections are that I want to pull out and have the students listen for. So the introduction is going to have these pizzicato. You can talk about the string section is playing pizzicato, which means they're plucking the strings instead of using a bow across the strings. So we've got pizzicato, bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. Really loud 3 notes at the end. And we get ready for the A section. The A section is always going to come first in a piece of music. And I show them, this is our visual for the A section. I have at the top of the corner of each visual that I give what section it is, and that's what the students write down in their notebook. They don't copy everything that I did on the page or on the little sheet, but they just write down the A after the intro, which means the beginning, after the introduction was the A section. Now I like to sing along when there's a main theme, and I like the students to be able to sing that theme. It gets in their minds and they can retell it. And it actually worked out really good this morning. So what I did to teach this is I sang, it's the A theme, it's the A theme, it's the A theme, 1, 2, 3. It's the A theme, it's the A theme, it's the A theme, 1, 2, 3. And we sang that together, and it did get in their heads because as soon as it came back later in the song, they recognized it. I wrote A2 because it's not a completely new section. It's still part of A, but it sounds different. We've got this big crash, and it's going to get louder and higher and build up. It's very exciting. This is a really exciting part. So this is the A2 part. And it also, if you noticed on those two with the A and the A2, we do have a repeat sign. And I point that out to the kids. After A and A2, we have the B section. And here's the visual I did for this one. Da 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 da. So we talk about how these lines right here are kind of representing, they're all staying pretty much the same tone. Da 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 da. It's all on this one line, and then we have some melodic difference. Ba ba da da ba 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 da da. And we talk about the rhythm here. And when you listen, and I'm showing it, you can hear the triangle. It's really cool. Then there's a little B interlude. We talk about an interlude is also, it's just kind of leading into another part, which comes back to B again. Now, after that, I'm going to not tell you what comes next because I'm going to also do the same thing that I did with my students this morning. Another section we have is C. Where did I put my C? I think it's here. All right, so we talked about how this is from Swan Lake. And in Swan Lake, the story is that the prince has come of age. And so his parents, the king and queen, have thrown this party, and he's going to try to find a wife. And there's also in some of the choreography, if you watch some ballets, there's a jester. So I think this is a perfect part to talk about the jester. We have this stately sounding melody, and then I have the kids do a little wiggle with the music. It works out with the music. You'll love it. The D section, I say this is where we have our prince. And I wrote down what instrument. So I wanted the students to listen to the timbre. The timbre is like the quality of voice of an instrument. And it's interesting just to let the kids listen and call out what they think it is. So I'm going to let you do that too when we listen to the piece. The E section. All right, for this one, I wanted to show how there's two different lines going on in the same time. Underneath, you can hear these smooth string melodies going on. And up above, at the same time, there are these little accents of the flute. And so I like to prepare students to listen for that. The F section is the final different section that we have, the different theme. And we just talk about waltz, how a waltz is a dance in 3. And we just kind of count during this section, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we also notice how there is a crescendo, and a crescendo means to get louder. So, and you can see, and there's also a bridge. I'll share that. And at the end, there's the coda. The coda means end. And I have the students listen for the symbols, for all the symbols. That's a lot. And it's been like 8 minutes of me just preparing. And it kind of was like that in class today. But the kids, they did great. They followed and tracked. I think form is one of the most important things to do when you're listening for music and doing musical appreciation and composer study to the pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and play it because the song is 7 minutes long. So we are going to listen. And I hope this is loud enough here. So this is the introduction. And we go into the A theme first. It's the A theme, it's the A theme, it's the A theme, 1, 2, 3. It's the A theme, it's the A theme, it's the A theme, 1, 2, 3. It's the A theme. You can come in here. Not right now. And this I put as the interlude. It's still part of B, and you could label it maybe B2 or something. But what's interesting is it goes back to B after this part. And you can talk about the instruments. We have some more plucking of the strings while the winds, the flutes are playing. It's going to go back to B. A little bit different. A lot bigger, a lot louder. And you can also hear this interlude music. You can hear it in the background. What does this sound like? It's a new section, but we've heard it before. It's the A theme. It's the A theme. It's the A theme. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we do repeat, okay. Here is this C section. Can you hear the main melody? And tell me what instrument it is. In the story, this is where the prince does his dance. The instrument is a trumpet. To C. I remember how I said I want to listen to the two lines happening. I didn't write on these, but again, there's lots of repeat signs. I should have added repeat signs on this one too. One, two, three. This is not a section, but you can hear that it's building. This is the bridge, and it's going to take us to the end of the piece. We have one more section where we have this B melody coming back. And now we are at the coda. And listen for all of the cymbals. Listen to all this crashing. Nothing just slipped. So that is Tchaikovsky's Waltz from Swan Lake. Thanks for watching. So I hope this gave you some ideas, and you can do this in your own lessons with your co-op or your homeschool or your classroom music. And let me know if you have any questions. Mm-hmm.